Thanks for joining this training video on OneDrive for Business. In this training session, we're going to explore OneDrive for Business, which is a component of Office 365. It's different than the OneDrive consumer version. So again, we're going to focus on the business version that comes with Office 365. First, let's explain a little bit about what it is. OneDrive is a place where you can put your files in the cloud. And think of that as just that. These are your files. You own them. You control them. They're yours. And really, if that's what you'd like to do, you can just keep it that way. If you want to share them with others, you can. But again, you'll choose to do that. You'll get a terabyte of storage, which truly is a mountain of space. It's probably more than you'll ever need. And some of you, depending on the license type that you have, will get even more than a terabyte of storage. If you've used some other tools similar to like Google Drive or Dropbox or Box, those are cloud-based tools that do something very similar. The goal here again is to take our files or some of our files, put them in the cloud so that we can benefit from some of the cloud collaboration, backups, accessibility that comes with these cloud tools. And I'm going to show you those things. You can access OneDrive a number of different ways. You can get it on your phone through a mobile app. You can get it directly through the website, through the portal, or you could even get it from your local machine if you're syncing. Okay? And included inside of OneDrive is this great feature called Office Online. This is Word, PowerPoint, and Excel that's delivered through a web browser. So you can use those apps without having to install the big full version of Office Pro Plus on your computers. So again, let's say you're at someone else's computer, or you're traveling, or you just have access to a computer somewhere and you need to modify an Excel doc. You can do that with Office Online. Okay, so I'm going to take you through a handful of tips here. The first thing I want to talk about is how do we get to OneDrive? Well, we have to sign in. So our normal sign in, portal.office.com. That's where we go. Notice here on my screen, I've been redirected to login.microsoftonline.com. Both of these will take you to the same place, so you can use either one. I'm going to go ahead and put my password in here. It's going to ask me if I want to stay signed in, and I'm going to say no this time. So here I am. I'm inside of my Office 365 portal, and I have access to all types of collaboration tools. Now, depending on your license, you may see some or all of the choices that I have here. Things like Teams, SharePoint, Yammer, and Flow, and here's my webmail, my Outlook. And I've got OneDrive listed right here. And notice on my screen, if I scroll a little bit, it knows that I've been working in my OneDrive recently, and it's saying, hey, here are some recent documents, here's some folders on your OneDrive side. So again, it's helping you remember where you were, things that you worked on recently, just making it a little bit easier on the navigation. I always like going to the Brady Bunch cube, up here on the top left, these 9 dots, and it always lists out all of my services. Now this sort of matches what's on the screen, but this is an old habit. This Brady Bunch cube has been here for a while, and it's just a great way to navigate through your system. So I'm going to go ahead and access my OneDrive folder. So here I am. This is my space. I'm signed in with my training account. It's called ron.trainer. So you can see up on the top right, RT, those are my initials, Ron Trainer. And you can see I've had a couple folders here, just very simple basic things happening in my OneDrive. Well, one of the first things you want to know how to do is how can I create and upload and add folders and files to my system? Really simple. Here's new, and I'm going to create a new folder just like that, and I'll call this Ron's Test Folder 2. There we go, it's done. It has these little shout icon next to it. And I'll click into it. So now I have a folder. And I can upload files or I can create files. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to choose to upload a file. Right here, I get the normal. Oh, look at the cute kids. We'll go to the desktop. Here's a PowerPoint file called Training Agenda. I'm going to add that. Just like that, it tells me it's uploading. Done. It's already done. It's in the cloud. So pretty good performance. It's a small file, but it's there. It's now a part of the cloud. Okay, this is my navigation, so I have some breadcrumbs here. If I go to Files, it'll take me back to my main screen, my main OneDrive portal. All right, so I've got this other folder here called Ron's Training folder. Let's go into this, and I've got a sample workbook here. Okay, well, one of the great features that I mentioned is called Office Online. And Office Online is going to open up Excel. Let me show you. I'm just going to click this one time. It's a link. I'm on a web page. And here it is. Take a look at this screen. It looks, it feels, it behaves just like Excel. But take a look here. I'm actually on a web page. So what does that mean? It means that I could bookmark this if I wanted to. Create a bookmark and I can instantly come back to this Excel spreadsheet that I use all the time, right? And take a look as I play around with the numbers in here, okay? And I can sum, I can do a little auto sum, or maybe I'll get an average, just like that. So we're getting a highly functional version of Excel. Now I want to be clear, this isn't everything this isn't the full installed version of Excel. It's a lightweight, web-enabled version that's very powerful. The things I like about Office Online and Excel Online here is, number one, I can get to it extremely fast, even through a link on my browser. It behaves and does most of the things that I need. But to be honest, every once in a while I need the full application, okay? So if I ever need the full application, right here in my menu bar, I could open this file right up in Excel, and it will open Excel and I can work in Excel. I'm still working on my Cloud Doc, which is amazing, but I can choose which version of Excel to use, my online version or my fully installed version. If you ever want to change the name of a file, you can just click on it up here. I don't want to call this Sample Excel Workbook. I want to call this, we'll just edit and call it Ron's Excel Workbook. It's saved, it's done. Now notice, I have a File button here, but I don't have a Save button. I have a Save As button, no Save button. No Save button here. And it's because as I type, as I work on this screen, okay, you'll see that it is saving instantly. I am typing and working in the cloud in real time. So no need to save. I'm not going to lose data because it's automatically being saved directly in the cloud. So that's it. Office Online, really great, simple way to access the tools. Now look, I've got a breadcrumb up here. Okay, if I want to go back to my OneDrive folder, I can just breadcrumb my way back. Now I've navigated here. I want to show you one other thing. I'm going to go ahead and create a new file. New? I could have created Word, Excel, Power. I'm going to create a new Word file. And I just want you to get a sense of Word Online. This is a browser. I'm amazed sometimes when I'm using this and I can see how similar it is and functionally rich this is. You know, this is working just like the real Word, right? I have my caps lock on. If I turn caps lock off, then back to normal, okay? Now look at my ribbon bar. My ribbon bar's done something a little interesting here. The web version has given me a simplified ribbon. I've got a choice up here. I click one time and I'll go back to my full ribbon. So again, highly functional, very powerful, cut, copy, paste, format painter. I've got insert capabilities, page layout, review, view. Truly a very functionally rich version of Word. Okay, I'm going to navigate myself right on back to my OneDrive splash page here. I want to point out a couple more things here that I think are interesting. I can choose what this looks like, okay? And here's where I choose it. It's not that obvious, but if I click here, I can get a list view, a compact list view, or I can go to tile mode. So if I go to compact list, I kind of like this a little better. It's a little tighter here. I'll see more of my files and folders if I've got a bunch. Notice if I go back to list, they just stretch out a little bit more, okay? And if I go to tile view, it's just going to give me some folders like this. And the thing I like about this is it actually does tell me how many files are in each of my folders. But to be honest, I'll tell you, I like the compact list view, so this is how I like mine to be. Now, one of the great features of OneDrive is the ability to share your files with others inside of your organization. and if your company allows it, outside of your of your organization. These are great features, and it's very simple to do so. I'm going to show you how I can do this. Here's my workbook that I've created called Ron's Excel Workbook. If I want to share it, you can see I have a share option here. I've got a share option in here. Lots of different ways to share. So it's all going to do the same thing. When I share, I want you to understand what I'm about to do, because this is dangerous. We are sharing files with someone else, and we're granting permissions to our file to someone else. So we have to be very careful about what happens here. And this little drop down is more important than you think. Okay? Anyone with this link can view it. So by default, I could put in an email address, send it, and I've immediately made this file wide open to anyone that has that link. That's a lot of permission. If I choose this, I can say, okay, I don't want anyone with the link. I could just say people inside my company that have the link. That's limiting exposure a little bit. I could say only the people that have existing access, or I can say specific people. I'm going to say specific people. And now it's checked. And this is a really important one as well. Do I just want it to be read-only? Or do I want to allow someone to edit my document? Okay? Because I can do it. And we can co-author and type and write and work at the same time in real time. I'm going to say go ahead and allow this editing. I'm going to apply this. And you know who I'm going to share this with? I'm going to share this with the other Ron. That guy. I'm going to put a little message in here and say, hey Ron, can you help me with this doc? Send. Now what Ron is going to get, there's my confirmation that it was sent. What Ron is going to get is an email that says, hey, a file has been shared with you. I want to show you what that file looks like. It looks just like this. This is an auto-generated email that comes from the Office 365 system that says, hey, here you go. And it's telling me that I can open this link and takes me straight to the file that's been shared with me. Okay? Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is now that I've shared this file with the other Ron, we're both going to get in here and we're going to work on a document at the same time. This document right here. I'm going to open it on this side for starters. So if you'll notice something here on my screen, this is my workbook, Ron Trainer. Okay, I've created this workbook. It's mine. I own it. I've shared it with a different Ron, and I can see here up on the top of my screen that Ron is actually inside of this document with me right now. Now, as you can see on the screen, there's some activity that's taken place. Okay? And as this activity has taken place, I get to see it in real time, one cell at a time. Okay, that's not me. That's not my file. That's not Ron Trainer. That's actually the other Ron working in my workbook. We're co-authoring in real time. And notice that purple rectangle around the cell? That's telling me that he's working. Now, it's not going to show me the details of that until the other Ron hits enter and actually records what's taken place in that. Okay? But as soon as he hits enter, you can actually probably hear it. As I type on the different computer, you can see that it's near instant. Now, a little different if we're co-authoring in Word. When we co-author in Word, we can actually watch someone type in real time and the words, the letters one by one, so we see a very real-time effect. Excel, a little bit different, but like I said, as soon as they're done working in that cell, you'll see it immediately. This has tremendous applications within an organization. We've seen accounting teams that do budget meetings and review spreadsheets in real time, and people are manipulating numbers together. We've seen business development and proposal teams that have deadlines on projects and contracts, and instead of emailing it around to everybody, we have one source of truth. One person owns the document. You share it out. You let people come in and work together on one source of truth. I think that's really one of the greatest strengths here of what OneDrive can do for you when it comes to collaboration. Okay? So I'm going to navigate myself on back here Because there's one more thing I want to show you. Because now, guess what? We're sharing files with outsiders or other people. What happens if they mess it up? It happens, right? What if someone comes in and messes up my document and I want to go back to an older version? So I want to show you here, when I highlight this, I've got something called version history up here. Version history, look, this document goes back. It's only 38 minutes old. I did some changing. Look, here's the change that the other Ron did. Just now, we're on version 6. And if this guy really messed up my document, I could just roll back. I can come to this version. I could restore it, open, or even delete it. Microsoft keeps 500 versions of your files. That's just truly fantastic. So even if you have a document that's lived in your system for a long time and it's gone through many revisions, it's great to know that you've got those copies. And guess what? You don't really care because you've got so much storage space with 1 terabyte of storage that you're very unlikely to ever use it all up. Okay, last couple things. Just let me finish up here with, if you share files with other people, you're going to want to use your left navigation, okay? And when I click shared, it's going to tell me these are the things that have been shared with me, and here are the things that have been shared by me, right? Remember, I shared this with that Ron guy? I just did it a little while ago, okay? And it's telling me that it's been shared by me, shared with me. This is where you go to access those lists. Recent, again, this will just tell you things that you've worked on recently. You can see 34 minutes, 12 minutes, 8 minutes ago. Recycle bin. As you work on files and throw them away, your recycle bin is going to hold your deleted files for about 30 days. And then after that, they're gone. They will purge and be gone. Now, if your organization requires compliance, possibly a government agency or a government contractor or whatever it is, if you're required to forcibly keep your documents, that can be a part of what this system does as well. And your IT administrators can set it up so that documents are forcibly kept for whatever time period you decide. So that's it. OneDrive for Business, great component of the Office 365 system. Thanks for listening.